Hello, everyone. This is Dread from Miss Valley Entertainment News. We're going to do a little reaction here to Penguin Zero's huge hacking situation. This is going to be my only coverage of hacking because I don't believe in talking about hacked stuff that's been released. But we need to just kind of do an overall general, uh, story about this. So we will. As I said, I'm not going to cover. I don't plan to cover any of the details of what's been released, but hacking is always a bad situation. Let's get into this with Charlie from Penguin Zero.
A couple days ago, a major video game studio called Insomniac was hacked by a ransomware group. Insomniac is the studio responsible for the Spider-Man series, most recently Spider-Man 2. And the ransomware group was demanding $2 million by holding this data hostage, threatening to release it to the public. It contained very sensitive information as well as tons of early gameplay footage from their upcoming Wolverine game, which had been announced prior, as well as information on upcoming games all the way up to like 2030. Just a ton of information that they were going to be trying to get money out of in order to keep under wraps. But as Peter Parker says, we don't negotiate with terrorists. So Insomniac did not give them any money, and over the last 24 hours, Twitter has been flooded with tons of footage from the Wolverine game as well as tons of information on Insomniac's future projects.
This always just hurts both the company and the consumer, in my opinion. Now, I work for a company that has been hacked before, ransomware. They refused to pay for it. We lost a lot of info, which really hurt the company as well. They released info out there about the employees' personal health information and stuff into the dark web, which wasn't cool. Required us all having to get identity theft protection and the whole deal, and deal with all kinds of headaches from it. And it wasn't pleasant at all. So I feel for Insomniac, and I don't have any goodwill towards any hacking situation, period.
This has just been inundating my Twitter timeline. It's like impossible to avoid it at this point. It's just like trying to dodge the rain during a thunderstorm. It's been a lot. So this is obviously a pretty big deal because Insomniac is a massive studio. I'm pretty sure everyone's familiar with their work. And everyone had been really excited for the Wolverine game. And now, just like a butthole after eating Chipotle on an empty stomach, shit's been leaking. Since the
Ouch.
deadline has passed, the hacking group Reseda has now dumped a total of 1.67 terabytes of data, 1.3 million files onto the internet in the wild, in the cyberspace. So that's why you've been seeing so much of it all over Twitter recently. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to show even a single pixel of a screenshot that
Good
is
for you.
released from these leaks or
Good for
any
you.
footage. I'm not going to go over any new titles that are upcoming that have been revealed from this, but I do want to talk about the situation a bit deeper. I know I mentioned this before with like the GTA 6 leaks, but there's really no winning when that happens because all it can
True.
ever really serve to do is make people's hype die down from it, from seeing something before it's finished. For some reason, people have this inability to comprehend that what they're looking at isn't supposed to be public knowledge because it's still super early.
That's what happened with the Dragon Age Dreadwolf when they released some of the very early test footage and stuff from it. People freaked out because it was looking so bad, but it was what it was. It was very, very early test footage, and was not a lot to glean out of there other than disappointment, which was unfair, I think, because it's unfinished footage.
Early. So a lot of people make judgments on the final quality of the product based on these leaks, which means they immediately start writing it off. And in this case, that's happening in a big way right now with a lot of discussions from people suffering from stupid brain disease where they're talking about how disappointing the game looks visually, like it looks janky, the animations are trash, this and that. They're even spreading memes about like the reveal trailer they did for Wolverine versus that same scene in its current state from the leaks.
Well, that's
And they
stupid.
don't have the
That's
ability to
stupid.
recognize that what they're looking at is still so fucking early. This
It's
wasn't
unfinished.
supposed to be seen yet because it's not done. It's not
Yeah.
even close to finished. So you have these fucking posts that are popping off on Twitter saying expectation with the trailer and then reality from the leaks, and it's like that's not the
So if you're coming across those kind of memes or those kind of videos, just turn away from them. It's stupidity. It doesn't even there's not even any humor in that. It's just bad information. It's bad information. It's just dumb. That would be like saying, okay, I don't know, like what if a couple, a man and a woman married, right, let's say, and they're going to their 20th anniversary celebration. They're going to go out to dinner for it or whatever. And you got, hey, congratulations on 20 years together, but oh, this looks like a pretty wrong relationship, right? And you got a picture of the guy and he's like in his early 40s, right? You got a picture of him recently, and then you take a picture of the girl from when she was 8 years old. You put them together and you're like, they're going out for their 20th anniversary. Oh, this is so wrong. This is terrible. What the hell's going on? You're using old footage. You're using something that's not the reality of what it's going to be or what it is now. You're pulling it out of a unfinished past state. It makes no sense. There is no comparison there. Anybody who tries to make one is being stupid. Doesn't make any sense, people. Just turn away from that kind of idiocy.
reality. They're still actively working on this game. Like it is still. It doesn't have its makeup on. It's still in the lab. It's still in the oven cooking. I don't understand why they're making such strong judgments based off of these very early leaks here. It's just so frustrating. I don't work for Insomniac and I'm getting offended on their behalf with the awful takes I'm seeing from this. It's so weird to me. And when I was a kid, I used to love leaks. I used to think that was the most exciting shit. I remember going to like old game forums and finding some really blurry fucking negative 240p videos of early Halo 2 vid docs like going over what's going on. And there was also like a pretty sizable leak for a game called Brute Force back then too that I thought was really interesting. And when I was a kid, I thought it was so hype and it got me really excited to see what it would look like in the final game. But now as an adult, when these leaks happen, I recognize how detrimental it is to the developers because people are so
I'm not really that interested in video game leaks. I'm more interested in when the companies come forward and say something about their game, like, "Hey, here's some trailer footage, here's some CGI footage. Hey, here's some info you might want about some of the characters we're going to release. Hey, here's some actual in-game footage. Here's a release date coming up. Those kind of things. I'm interested when the developers tell you something about the game and share something about the game, more than when something gets leaked, because it's usually, again, kind of like Charlie's saying here, it's usually detrimental when it's a leak. You want it to come straight from the horse's mouth, and that's when you actually get info.
fucking dumb that they can't wrap their mind around the fact that what they're seeing is not indicative of the final quality of the game that's going to come out down the line. So what happens is people immediately start shitting on it, and then maybe some people lose interest in it, all based on these early leaks that weren't supposed to hit the public.
It's the people in their short attention span and their quick hits. We'll read the headlines of something, we'll watch a meme of something, we'll watch a 1 minute video of something, maybe we won't even watch the whole minute because our attention spans are short, and we'll form an opinion and move on. You call that the cell phone era. I don't know what it is, but people don't take time anymore. I like watching entirety of videos. I like sitting down and just watching things that, amuse me, and watching them all together and leaving a like and a subscribe, dropping a comment a lot of the times. I like, immersing myself in something and getting the full story. So many people nowadays don't do that, and they form their opinions based upon faulty knowledge because of that, honestly.
Consciousness. It's so fucking silly. You just can't really win when it comes to something leaking. You just can't. All you do is lose from it.
Yep,
So, with
agree.
this hacking group releasing all of this, they have struck a pretty big blow to Insomniac. This is a big deal. Now, if it's whether or not it's going to affect their financials in a massive way, probably not. But at least for right now, they are taking
Well,
a
it should affect their financials right now, because they should be taking what money they would normally put into their games and putting it into better cybersecurity. So that takes money away from them doing the things we want them to be doing in order to help protect their websites and their assets in the future from criminals.
Hit from it, and it has taken a lot of the steam out of a lot of their upcoming announcements that I'm sure their teams were really excited to start showing things from and talking about and revealing down the line. So it's just kind of unfortunate. Now, again, I don't work for Insomniac. If Wolverine comes out and it's trash, you're not hurting my feelings by insulting it, but at least wait for the game to come out before making a judgment on how it looks or how it plays and shit like that.
Just makes sense.
Instead of going by this extremely early footage from these fucking leaks. I guess to dive a bit deeper on that point, I think it's totally reasonable and something I often do to make a judgment on the quality of a game based on the actual marketing materials that they themselves are putting forward, because that is them showcasing the game in a state that they think will be indicative of its final state. So if a trailer comes out for Wolverine 6 months from now, and you don't like the way things are looking in that trailer with its gameplay or its visuals or whatever, that's when I think it is totally fine to start forming an opinion on how the game's going to be, if it's going to be good, bad, or something you might or might not enjoy. Because that is an official trailer showcasing the product in a state they are proud enough in to showcase to the world.
Unless you're the day before, in which case, fantastic, in which case, it's a CGI trailer, it has nothing to do with the game because there really is no game. And that's a totally different story.
As opposed to the shit flinging that's happening right now based on something that is actively still in development. It'd be like getting upset that your chicken is bad because you refuse to wait for it to cook. Like, it doesn't make sense to start judging it while it is still actively cooking. You need to wait for it to be ready and, like, served, which it's not right now. So I just don't really get all of the big threads I've seen popping off about why Wolverine's going to be terrible because these leaks are showing how bad it is. But yeah, I did want to at least go over this because this is one of the bigger leaks I've seen. A lot came out from this, and for a long period of time, going from now all the way up to like 2030. So they really did get a whole treasure trove of things that they just put out into the public here. And I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next. I know Sony has spoke on this briefly. They have made a statement letting people know that they are aware of what's going on. But anyway, I just wanted to go over this pretty quickly. That's about it. So yeah.
As you can see, Penguin Zero, huge hacky situation. I'm already subscribed to his channel. Leaving a like. I'm going to drop down here and just say thanks for this. Appreciate it. There we go. Miss Valley Entertainment News. Everybody from Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Dread. You know, I have the story on the Insomnia hacking situation, the Twitter stuff. There you go. That's all we're going to cover about this because, again, there's really no actual more story here unless you want to try to make comparisons between two things that aren't even ready to compare. So let's not get too excited by anything salacious out there you might see in this regard. Let's not get disappointed by it either. Let things play out, and we'll see when the stuff comes out. Until then, good luck to Insomniac and getting your cybersecurity under control. Hopefully this doesn't set you back too much. And from Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Dread. Trent and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.